Now, the referral program, I already talked about that. It's what I haven't said is it's a 3% commission based on the capital that the person you refer makes. So if you refer somebody, they make 100 REV tokens. When they
Mm.
harvest that 100 REV tokens, you'll get 3 of them. That's how it works. And the
Mm.
reason why we did it like that is because uh, it ensures that there's no ability to drain capital from the system from doing chain referrals, self-referring yourself a bunch of times,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
Because it's not giving you a bonus based on your deposit, and it's not giving you a bonus based on funds that you can continuously deposit and remove. So if you were making a referral bonus based on the capital that someone that you refer deposits, then that person could just continuously deposit and withdraw capital, and now you're making
Yeah.
a bonus off that.
Correct.
And what I said the first time, if you were making a bonus based on your deposit, then you could self-refer a bunch of times to do that. With
Mm.
this, it's a 3% commission off what they harvest, which means they had to deposit that capital,
You gotta
keep
lock
that
it in.
capital in the system for long enough to make a harvest, and now you're making a commission based on what they harvest, and doing chain referrals or multiple referrals to the same person or self-referring, none of that is beneficial.
Yeah.
So that is very important, and this is going to just be another tool that we use for promotion. Now, the drip partnership, everybody knows that has been paying attention, knows that this is one of the major incentives to even building the project was to partner with Drip to incentivize stablecoin liquidity adding to Drip. Uh, we have Drip BUSD pools here on the farm. It has no deposit fee to join this pool, and it has one of the highest multipliers on the farms. The reason why we did this is because people who get into Drip are already paying a tax. There's already a transaction tax when you're buying Drip. If you buy it from PancakeSwap, if you
Yep.
buy it from our platform, you can avoid that tax.
Mm.
But you would have had to pay to add liquidity. We have
Right.
added a contract called the Drip Liberation Contract, which allows you to add liquidity to Drip without paying the tax. Uh, but people that have already owned Drip and cannot buy new Drip with BUSD using the Liberation Contract,
Mm.
or uh, uh, people that have Drip liquidity, when you eventually remove that liquidity, there is a tax associated with that. So
Mm-hmm.
because there is a tax associated with Drip, we waived the deposit fee involved with Drip, and we gave a high multiplier to the Drip farm, and this is because Drip has a very large, very active community that will bring a ton of capital into the farm and do a ton of promotion for the farm. So uh, we're incentivizing people with a multiplier that makes sense, relative to the amount of capital, the amount of attention that they'll bring to the farm. So this is why Drip is considered a core uh, a core pool, a core
Right.
farm pool. And I'll go to the drip liberation contract. The way this works is there's a 10% transaction tax on Drip. Now, if you send uh, BUSD using this front end right here, you'll send Drip BUSD to the contract. The contract then adds Drip BUSD liquidity to PancakeSwap tax free and sends you the LP tokens. The way it does this is it takes half the BUSD you deposited, uses
Mm-hmm.
it to buy Drip on the Drip swap page on drip.community. This way it's buying it without a tax. It then
Yep.
takes the other half of the BUSD, pairs them together, and then sends them using a whitelisted contract to the PancakeSwap liquidity pool. This is how it's able to add liquidity to PancakeSwap without a tax. Then it sends you the LP tokens. You can now transact the LP tokens tax-free. There's no tax on moving LP tokens. So now you can send those LP tokens to the farm and start earning REV tokens. The REV token is the farm reward token for all the pools and all the farms. Now, the REV token, its main utility is to be used as the pre-sale token for L2. But while you're holding the REV token, before the L1 has stopped, you can earn BUSD rewards in the REV single asset pool. And what this allows you to do is secure profit on the farm without the need to sell the REV token. And this allows you to accumulate the REV token. So when we get to the L2 pre-sale, you could use those REV tokens. You could contribute those REV tokens to the L2 pre-sale and get a 20% bonus relative to if you had contributed BUSD. So if you contribute 100 BUSD, you will get 20% more L2 tokens for contributing $100 worth of REV tokens to that pre-sale. So essentially, all of the incentive for L1 is built around accumulating REV tokens.
Yep.
There's multiple different cash flows that are being used to add buy pressure and remove REV tokens from circulation. There's also a max total supply for the REV tokens. That means once the REV tokens stop emitting, there are no more in circulation. All of the REVs that are bought through the yield that is generated on the back end and through the deposit fees are removed from circulation. So because there are multiple cash flows that are used to buy REV, remove it from circulation, and because you can earn BUSD, essentially securing profit on the REV token without needing to sell or dump that REV token, allowing you to accumulate it and use the REV token for the L2 pre-sale, getting a 20% bonus on that pre-sale. Essentially, it lines up all the incentive with buying and accumulating the REV token. And because of this, I expect the REV token to just shoot right out the gate with positive price appreciation and maintain very high positive price appreciation all the way until the launch of L2. At the launch of L2, the L1 token is essentially becomes useless. And I'll explain how that happens in the migration. Everybody that holds the REV token before L1 at the end of before L2 at the end of L1 will get that value migrated over to the L2 tokens. So essentially there's no reason to hold the REV token after the launch of L2. So I expect, and I've seen from other projects. Now, I was saying that when we decided we were going to launch this, what we first did was look at a bunch of other projects that are currently successful right now in the space and what they did, and see if we can attribute any of those functions or utility to our project. There was a project not on Binance Smart Chain, on a different chain, that did a multi-layer system where they used the layer 1 farm reward token as the pre-sale token for L2. They didn't have many of the functions that we have, which will allow us to be even more sustainable and see even greater price appreciation. But even just the fact that they had this layer 1, layer 2 dynamic, their L1 token saw massive price appreciation and didn't see a single major correction for the whole launch of the farm, for that whole layer 1 process. And I expect to see that same that same kind of scenario play out with our L1, but even greater, because what their platform was lacking is they didn't have a pool that paid out BUSD rewards that allowed people to secure profits on the L1 farm token without needing to sell or dump the L1 farm token. This is so key because everybody knows that farms are uh uh farms most farms are higher risk than a lot of other projects, but they have the potential for very high rewards. And the reason why they can be higher risk than other projects is because of the inflationary nature of the farm reward token. Now, the way that we combat this is by allowing people to secure profit on the farm reward token without the need to sell it. This removes that risk and allows them to secure profit on the farm while still being able to accumulate the token. They didn't have this on the project I'm talking about that had multiple layers. They didn't have this aspect, and people were still willing to hold the L1 farm token and accumulate it all the way through the launch without selling it, and not one major correction, because of the dynamic of getting a bonus on the L2, which allows you to become a essentially a power player in L2 at launch and get it at the best possible exchange rate at launch. So we took that dynamic and we added to it, making it more sustainable through adding the ability to secure profit without the need to sell that token, removing that need for sell pressure and allowing people to mitigate their risk, secure profit, and maintain their ownership and their allocation of the farm and the farm reward token. We also are generating additional yield in the background that they were not doing, which is going to be adding hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of buy pressure and additional marketing budget for the project that this other project that had the multi-layer system just didn't have. They were not doing this pre-hypothecation. They didn't have these additional mechanics that are going to the farm. They also took a essentially all of the deposit fee. I think they took 75% of the deposit fee and pocketed it as their way of monetizing the platform. We're using 70% of the deposit fee for buybacks and marketing. And the buybacks, marketing, and the maintaining of the platform. 30% for buybacks, 30% for marketing, 10% to pay for the gas of the platform back end stuff. So, due to these mechanics, I expect us to outperform this other project that had a dual layer system, and this other project that had a dual layer system saw massive price appreciation. It didn't see a single correction all the way for their first layer. Now, let me, I guess, go to L2. But if you have any questions,
no, so far it's fine. I think we'll just you just keep going, and then towards the end, then I'll bring up the questions from people.
Yeah, we'll try not to interrupt you.
Yeah,
we're gonna let you do your thing. Yeah, for this.
Beautiful, guys. Beautiful. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. So,
no worries.
All right, so I'll keep going. So I'm going to skip the miner right now, even though the miner plays a massive role in the farm and in drip. I'm just going to skip this right now, just because I want to get to the L2 part, because I think it's a smoother explanation to go right from L1 to L2. And then we'll talk about the miner after.